was a really stupid thing to say. I mean, it was true, of course, but it was a really stupid thing to say in public because it's exactly what people want to hear from a CIA director so that they could use it against the CIA. Not that they don't deserve it. They deserve it.
Do you agree with people who say the CIA is a rogue agency that needs to be shut down?
Yes, I'm on record as saying that I think the CIA should be shut down. And you know, we've got...
Not enough people say that, though.
No, not enough
I mean, Democrats are too scared to say abolish ICE.
Yeah.
I've never heard the slogan abolish CIA. Maybe we're coining it here today on Mehdi Unfiltered. Abolish CIA. Maybe a Democratic presidential candidate in 2028 could run on that.
Most countries have one intelligence service. Some have two. The United States has 18.
18, which are currently being managed by Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. Exactly.
Do you regret anything you did during your time at the CIA?
Oh, sure. I've told this story about a morning early on in my career. I was an analyst working on Iraq. This was early 1993. And every branch in the CIA meets every day at 9 o'clock. Everybody has their little, lowest level branch meeting just to talk about what happened in the part of the world that you cover overnight. So I was in my 9 o'clock meeting, and the secretary came in, kind of perplexed. And she said, "John, General Powell is on the phone for you." And I said, "General Powell?" I said, "How does he know who I am?"
Colin Powell.
Colin Powell. He was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff at the time. And she said, "I don't know, but he asked for you by name." So I looked at my boss. He said, "Well, go answer the phone." So I went to my secure line and I said, "Good morning, General Powell. May I help you?" And he says, cut straight to the chase. He says, "John, if the Iraqis were going to try to kill the president, who would be in charge of an operation like that?" I said, "Well, if you're talking about the attempt to kill President," it was George H.W. Bush, in Kuwait. Kuwait operations are run from the Iraqi intelligence service Basra Station. But Basra Station is headed by the director of the Iraqi intelligence service, Sabr Abdulaziz Aduri. And he said, "Where does he physically sit?" And I said, "In Iraqi intelligence service headquarters." And he says, "Thank you," and he hangs up the phone. I go back into the meeting. They said, "What do you want?" So I told them what he wanted and went about my day. That night, we fired 47 cruise missiles into Iraqi intelligence service headquarters, and we vaporized it. But we killed a janitor. And I went to the office the next day after having read the news reports, and I said to my boss, "I killed that janitor yesterday." And he said, "I knew you were going to say that. You didn't kill the janitor. Powell killed the janitor. You just answered his question. You didn't know what he was going to do with the information." But it's bothered me all these years. We bombed the place in the middle of the night because we didn't want there to be a massive loss of life.
That's what the argument will be.
But the one, the most innocent person in the entire Iraqi intelligence service, the janitor, that's the guy.
I hate to say it, but that story almost sounds quaint. We now live in a world where we killed 120 schoolgirls on day one of this war.
And don't bat an eye.
Mm-hmm. Won't even take responsibility for it.
Scandalous.
We'll come back to that in a moment. Just on CIA and people asking you questions about your time. A lot of people, I'm assuming, ask you to confirm or debunk conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm. I get it all the time.
One of the biggest ones of recent years that turned out not to be that much of a conspiracy theory, but just a real conspiracy, was one involving Jeffrey Epstein and his ties to the rich and powerful, but also his ties to foreign governments. Israel comes up a lot. Obviously, there are other governments, the Russian government, etc. But to your mind, was Jeffrey Epstein A, a foreign agent for Israel, B, a foreign agent for any other government?
I said from the very, very beginning, and took it on the chin, for saying that I believed Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad access agent. And what an access agent is, it's different from a recruited spy.
Like a freelance fixer type person.
Yeah, if you are a government and you want information from the richest and most powerful people in the world, you're not going to recruit them. You have nothing that they can't get.
Intermediary.
You go to an intermediary. Somebody who can get close to them. Somebody who can wine them and dine them.
But why wouldn't he be working for lots of governments and making money? Why is it Israel?
As it turned out, it looked like he was trying to. So I accused him of being an Israeli access agent. I still believe he was an Israeli access agent, but we know from this most recent tranche of documents that he had volunteered to the CIA, volunteered to the FBI, volunteered to MI5 and MI6 and the Germans, and was really, really trying to get a meeting with the Russians. They wouldn't allow a meeting directly with Vladimir Putin. They offered him a group of as many as 4 intelligence officials, and he said no, he wanted Putin directly. So he was out there trying to ingratiate himself with a variety of intelligence services.